nuclear war has begun. Vampires fought back in super real 3D.
This is kind of a clickbaity title. I don't actually like naming a video what I've named it. Whatever I ended up going with, it's probably something along the lines of like selling clients on low view counts. Something in that territory is what I've named this video. This is actually really valuable information. Why would you listen to me? You're probably looking at my video and seeing that I don't have that many views. Doesn't matter. If you look at my website where all my clients are listed and the types of videos that I make, I mean, you will see that as a single person, I stay very busy. I make all kinds of national branding videos for different companies. I make documentary stuff. I make music videos. I keep my feet in the fire quite a bit. If that's an expression, I don't know. But I'm going to go with that one for now, so let's ride with it. You get a client, and it's important to set real expectations on their view counts, because a lot of times you might have a potential client, and they are talking with you on the level of how many views is this video going to make? How many views do you think this will stir up? Do you think this will go viral? And the reality is that for a product or service video, when a company is hiring you, the chances of that going viral are very, very slim. There's a lot of factors that go into generating a lot of views for a product or service video. Like, why would people share that? It's got to be something that's genuinely exciting. It's got to be something that the market's kind of waiting for. It's got to be something that some people kind of know a little bit about, or it's tied to something that has a history. Trans Am, one of my clients, the client that makes the most plays, out of all the videos I make, they make the most plays. It's Trans Am. They're the only people in the world still making a Trans Am. There's still a hungry market for people that are interested in the Trans Am. There's a love affair with the Trans Am. Not a lot of products fall into that category, especially if you're brand new. So when you're talking to a client about potentially, having them sign you on to make a video for them, why are they going to hire you if you're not going to generate that many views? And I have the answer for that, and it's a real answer. I was going to say it's a fact. It is a fact. I'm going to go with fact. There is a reality to benefiting tremendously from videos that even have low view counts. If your videos are good, you do have to be somewhat realistic about where your skill set level is at and in looking at what you make, because the video has to accomplish this. And if it accomplishes this one thing that I'm about to say, then it's absolutely worth making. If somebody goes to your client's website and they see that there's this video that's on the homepage and they watch that video, will they consider them the people to go to after having watched that video? And if you make really good videos and their product is decent, obviously it does depend on what they're offering, then that is a video worth making, because that is a way more powerful selling pitch and representation of their product and the people behind their product and everything, and the way that they actually go about accomplishing the goals, the tasks that they do. That video is going to be way more powerful than any text or any single image on a website. People are very familiar with Photoshop. People are very familiar with fancy websites that are basically facades of storefronts for, maybe people that are selling stuff out of a storage unit. So people have their guard up. A video allows for a lot more trust to happen, but it's how the video is executed. So if a potential customer goes to that website or comes across that video or types in a search for that type of service or product and you come up, you want to have made something, which is the video, that makes you stand above all the rest of their competition, or at least at the level, especially if you're just starting and you're heading into a marketplace that's very fierce and competitive. You need to be at that level. If your video looks amateur, or if you don't have a video and you just have a relatively bare bones website with some fancy pictures, a really nice initial splash page, and then no substance or content to the rest of the website, these are thin things that will not generate a lot of revenue for your clients that you're making the videos for. So it's good to steer them in the direction of trying to accomplish those things, but the video is going to be the foundation to get them there the fastest, especially in this day and age where we are filming in these super high resolutions. Most of us are filming in at least 4K for clients. Some of us are filming in 5, 6K. And then on the highest end, 8K right now. I'm 6K for most of the content that I do. But what does that mean? That doesn't just mean that the video is of higher resolution. It means that, especially when you're good at color grading, you can then, this is something I do to all clients, give to all clients, is give them a digital folder that is filled with pulled frames from the video, from the color graded shots that I got, and those are print ready. That's 6K resolution. You can make a billboard out of that if you needed to. So they've got all their advertisement materials. They've got branding that ties in with a thematic look that carries from their video over to pictures that you can pull out, then give them, and they can use across their website, their social media. And now they're branded, all from a single video. And here's the second question to your client situation that you might want to point out to them. And this does depend on the type of client that you have. Do they have a product that is based on volume sales? Or is your client some kind of specialty service or product that's on a higher end? Do they just need like high-end clientele because they can only take on so much because it's a smaller amount of people working for the company and they get bombarded very fast? I fall into this category. As a one-man production company, one of the benefits of staying as a single person, outside of this being a huge benefit during a COVID time where you can do everything yourself, and a lot of guys that only know how to do one thing can't go team up with people, just pointing that out. As one person, I can take on a handful of projects over the year and literally be booked up, depending on the size of the projects and the budgets that they're working with. I mean, over the course of a year, I'll do somewhere between 8 to 14 projects. So it really just depends on the scale and size. That's not a lot of clients. I don't need millions of plays to generate that kind of client base that sustains me. And there's a lot of products out there that would fall into that camp. They don't need millions of plays. Now, if they got them, fantastic. But keep their expectations realistic about the kind of views that they might attain. You don't even have to give exact numbers. The point is that you just want to say flat out, we want to make something that if any customer is looking for this type of service or product and they come across your video, plain and simply, they will think you guys are the ones to go to, that you guys are the best. Or at least at the same level as a lot of bigger places that are more well-known that have been around longer, but you're charging a better price. So the video can do that if it's high production enough. It really is it's a substantial statement to the success and quality of the company as well. You can't have a low-budget video on a high-end product and people take that seriously. They're going to see a weakness, their guard's going to be back up, and that defeats a lot of the purpose of the video. But I do want to just list off a few things that do factor in. If you might have a client that does have the potential to get a lot of views, and some of those things that you'd be mindful of and you can point out to them as attributes as to why they might do well with the numbers. Is there a fan base out there waiting for this? Is there a following on this type of product or service? How involved are you in forums and communities and social media that have to do with that specific product or service? Are you constantly chiming in on message boards if you're a mechanic and talking about tech tips and stuff in a niche market? Put your video up there. Another thing is it relevant at the time? Do you have much buzz going on about you? Did something just happen? Are you part of a show? Did they just do some article on you in some magazine? Did some website just interview you for something? These are qualifiers for you being relevant at the time. So this is why a lot of times companies will strategically release videos at times of popularity for them when they're getting public exposure. Is their potential client base the kind of demographic that likes to share things on social media and likes to hunt down stuff and interact with those sites? There's a lot of people that watch YouTube that don't interact with it. So is your client base the kind of client base, and you don't always know this, but sometimes you do, are they tech savvy? If they're more techie, then they're more inclined to be interactive with the website. Or does your product have something to do with something controversial? That's going to create more interaction, which I don't recommend. I avoid stuff that's controversial. That's a personal thing that I won't go into in this video. But if you do have something that is going to create more engagement. And so that might be a catalyst for more people to interact with it, even if they're, let's say, older and they're not as tech savvy, but they get fueled up and they want to comment on something, then they might interact. And all those interactions add up to potential YouTube suggestions or Facebook suggestions wherever you're posting your video. I mean, you should probably, if it's for a product service, I recommend putting it up everywhere you can, especially in relevant places like forums and little Facebook groups or whatever that have to do with that product or service. YouTube for suggestions, for instance, it's roughly 75% of the plays that are generated on like the high play count videos come from YouTube suggestions, and YouTube's only going to suggest the videos if they're already doing well on their own. They don't suggest videos out of the gate that just like, oh, this is a pretty good video. Like, it has no judgment of that whatsoever. It only judges what interaction it's getting and the ratio of likes, dislikes, engagement, and how much it's generating itself views organically first. And if it's doing those things, then it suggests it. However, like I said, so valuable to have an awesome video on the website. If you can sell them in one go, in one 3-minute video, 5-minute video, 1-minute video, whatever you make, depending on how much needs to be explained, and they come out of it thinking, these people absolutely know what they're doing. I don't know if it can be done better than this. Well, then that was a video worth making. And your clients will keep coming back to you to make more videos because they've got the client base that they need. Not necessarily the case with volume-based companies, though. If it's a volume-based company and they need just sale after sale, then play count is important, and you're going to want to come up with a concept that could catch on virally. Usually, in general, something outrageous or humorous. Or that you've already got a fan base and it's something that's, like, it's a product there's already a lot of people backing behind. So I decided to make this because I just had an interaction with a client about this type of thing, and I had to kind of break it down, and I thought, you know what? There's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily know to tell their clients that, or maybe don't even acknowledge to themselves the value of the service that they are creating for their client, and they don't know how to articulate it. So I'm just giving you some words, giving you some ideas here on what you can tell your client to more successfully lock in the sale in a very moralistic way, because you know that what you're saying is true, because this is true information. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing awesome. I hope you are able to stay busy. If you are just a camera operator, if you are just a lighting person, this is a great time to brush up your skill set on any of the other aspects of production, because the more you can do by yourself in situations that get weird, you can MacGyver it and pull off individual productions. So I do recommend taking advantage of the time and honing your skills. And anyway, take care, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.